Could you please describe what makes innovation policy? Well, I suppose it's not enough to say we want to have innovation. So what is it?
Well, of course, innovation policy is a strategy which is consisting of several details. I think that one of the strengths in Finland has been, which I know the best, of course, is that as we have not that much raw material, we have forest, but not that much other raw materials, we have to use our brains and our educational system in order to be competitive in the world markets. And one strength of our system is that the government is supporting very early companies' research and development. Very normal is that if a company has a development project, our governmental agency, TEKES, Technological Development Fund of Finland, is granting 50% of the costs for the company. So it makes it more possible for a company to invest enough money into research and development and develop faster the product to global markets. This is a question of collaboration. We call it public-private partnership, which is combination of public sector and private sector. So both invest the same amount of money. And that was actually the way Technopolis Science Park was also founded 30 years ago. It was a joint venture where city of Oulu, very small city in North Finland, invested together with private 18 companies in the same company. And once again, joint venture. That is the uniqueness of Finnish model.
All right. In that model, could you please elaborate how the idea comes to business? Well, what stages does idea have to pass in order to get to some business interpretation?
Okay. Of course, a little bit varies. Is it question of new company or is it a project of existing company? For example, Nokia was originally a company making rubber boots, and then some 25 years ago they started to invest in telecommunications, and their process was of course a little different compared, for example, company which is starting to develop world-leading pulse meters measuring pulse electronically. But the general understanding is that you have to have 1,000 ideas in order to have 10 successful companies. And every stage of the development, the amount of success rate is dropping. So you have to have a lot of ideas in order to get some global businesses. And in all phases there are different rules how to proceed. And you need more and more money the further you go. In the beginning you don't need that much money. Later you need more and more money. And the key success factors seem to be that you have to have very good team of people. Different kind of people from science, people from production, people from marketing, people from financing, and those people together are able to realize the process. And in all stages there are different kind of tools in Finland, like everywhere.
Oh, well, just let's take Finland for example.
Yeah.
Imagine an average citizen has an idea. What does she or he have to do with it?
Well, if you have an idea, quite typical is first to go to certain agencies in Finland and get some kind of comment, some kind of sparring from them that is there any sense of developing this kind of idea. And we have system which is possible to give some money for using external consultants, for example, which are familiar with that field of innovation and idea, to help the person to get comment that is there any sense of continuing. The next step is typically to try to find some funding for the next steps, and then quite often you are looking for business angels, which are private individuals who are investing on that kind of cases. A little bit money, but that money is of course very important for the new starter. And then you are seeking for bigger amount of money from venture capitalists and different kind of companies which are investing in that sector. So there are different steps you have to continue. And if you are alone, then it's a challenge because you don't have the team. But of course, if you have a good idea, you are able to form the team. And essential is that you have to have a network of people who are willing to help you in finding right people and right team. So it's a question of some kind of entrepreneurial network and behavior. So you have to discuss with people, and as you discuss enough with the people, then you are able to find others who are willing to invest and use their time. Quite often, if you are able to use experienced people time to develop your concept, it's very valuable. It's even more valuable than money.
How is this network created? What are the basic principles for creating such a network?
That's a good question. In technoparks like Technopolis, the network is part of the existing so-called ecosystem. If you are having a small unit, a small office in Technopark or Technopark incubator, you are meeting other entrepreneurs, university people, financing institutions quite often, almost every day during lunches, for example. As said, even restaurants are very important networking places because you are easily meeting other people and you are able to develop your network. Quite important network is also the university where people have studied. So colleagues, people you studied together quite often create good network later when you are working in companies. And networks can, every place you can network. Some people are networking when they go on Sunday to church, or some people are networking when they go play tennis, for example. Quite often when I'm playing tennis in my neighborhood tennis hall, people come to discuss with me. I have this kind of idea, what do you think about this? And so networking can happen everywhere. And that's actually something which is very unique in States compared to European countries, that in States people are very active in networking everywhere. I think that is coming to Europe, the style.
All right. Do you know anything about the pitfalls or some problems which may become barriers when you want to create a network? Well, for instance, if you want to have, if it is not just a spontaneous process, but you want to stimulate it, well, what could be a problem with this?
I think one challenge what we also try to help in Technopolis and in our service packages is that if you are not able to explain your idea and the benefits of that idea, quite often, especially engineers, they are very technically oriented. They have problem in their head and they think that technology is the key issue, and they are not thinking what are the benefits on the markets by using of this technology, this innovation. So that is one problem, that you have to try to develop your story, your presentation, so that people are able to see why this innovation is valuable and important. That's one thing, and probably the key problem, because normally people are deciding very fast, is this idea good or bad? And if your story is too long and you are not speaking about the right benefits, the real benefits of the idea, then you have lost that time, and then busy people say that I'm not interested. So when Technopolis went public 15 years ago, Technopolis went public to Nasdaq in order to finance our own operations and growth. We spent 3 months to develop our presentation for international investors. So develop how to communicate the value of this business, how to communicate the benefits investing in Technopolis. So it's not easy task. You have to do a lot of work. Once again, it's a question of working.
Can I ask some questions about Russia?
Of course, I try to answer if I can.
Yeah, all right. What do you think the development of innovation in Russia what kind of challenges does the development of innovation in Russia face?
I think one challenge in Russia is that you have so much oil and other good raw materials that your economy is going very well if the price of oil is high and it doesn't push you that much as like for example Finland is pushed by the fact that we don't have that much oil, for example. So one problem is that there is not necessarily pressure enough to develop this innovation system. That's I think one challenge, and probably what I have seen here in Skolkova is the challenge that, but this is also a very global challenge, that you should find a balance between university, academic institutions and business life. So you have to have enough companies, enterprises on the same room discussing with the university people. If there are too many university people, then these projects become research projects. So you have to have balance. You have to have enterprises which are links between the science and markets. And I think that is something which is one problem, because the tradition of high-tech enterprises is not very long in your country. And I have a feeling that the situation is very similar actually to Finland. We had the same kind of problems 20 years ago, but I have been almost 30 years in this business and I have seen the development of Finland, and it was early years it was very similar problem. We had very same kind of situation, and so therefore we are very happy to be here in order to be helping the process, because it's beneficial also for Finland.
Yes, I understand. Could you possibly formulate some basic principles of solutions to these problems? As you said, you faced them.
Well, I think one solution is this kind of summits and seminars, because the more you discuss about these topics and share experiences, the more you learn to know what is the current situation. And then if you are realizing the current situation, then it's better possibilities to develop things. And I think this summit was, I don't know whose idea this is, but this is very exceptional and exceptionally good idea to collect these players and experienced people around the globe and bring them here and arrange discussion. I think that is the best way to develop things, to openly discuss and openly also discuss about problems. Problems are, when you identify the problems, then you are able to solve them.
Right, that was about the second problem. How about the first problem? Well, you're actually talking like Aristotle. I mean, that many things depend on the physical, the natural environment of a country. So, like, there is
It seemed to be.
how to deal with the oil problem?
Well, the oil is not a problem, because it actually oil. If you are using oil money partly to finance this kind of changes, then it's a big issue. Actually, as I said, in Finland we have forests, and looking back how it went in Finland, we were using this money we were getting from selling forest. We were using part of the money to develop knowledge-based businesses. So I think probably you should use a little bit more about oil money to develop this kind of things. So using resources like oil and raw material, that's the strength of your country, of course, if you are using that money to develop the future, not relying on the selling of the raw material, but changing the economy. It's a way to finance it.
And I think the last question to ask you this time, because I must take some rest. What do you think is your best achievement, has been your best achievement over these years in this innovation sphere?
Well, I think developing Technopolis as a company, being a leading European technopark and starting it from scratch in Finland when we didn't have high-tech sector at all, and now it's operation in Finland, in St. Petersburg, in Tallinn. It's a profitable company and growing very fast. I think that's my biggest achievement in this business.
Was it very difficult to start?
actually people were so eager that it was helping very much. So it wasn't very difficult, but it meant a lot of work.
And you didn't have many problems with the government?
Well, of course, always there are. But you have to solve those problems. And I think one thing where Technopolis was unique, because I have been a president of this International Association of Science Park, and I have visiting hundreds of science parks worldwide. One uniqueness of Technopolis was that we understood to give time enough for media, which was helping us to deal with government and normal people and that kind of stakeholders, because we were telling what we are doing, we were telling why we are doing, we were telling that this will take time, this is not one day process, it will take long time until the results will become, and we were all the time very positive for media. I think that is one success factor behind Technopolis, so that we didn't have any secrets and we were helping people to understand what is going on, and that helped also politicians to accept the delay between investments and results, which is the normal situation.